Okay.
That's a separate thing.
Anywho, live stream.
Because
We're starting.
Because remember, the acceptance is before this whole thing. So this wasn't even in our system when you said
So
you're not accepted.
I'm gonna keep this kind of short and sweet. We had someone ask specifically what they wanted for this meeting to be about, and for the next upcoming meeting, I'm just going to send out in our following week's guideline on Monday, like what is the topic that you want our next meeting to be about. I figure it's easier that way if I just like make it a poll and you can respond in there. I have a couple of things added to the Figma board. You can go through them, click through, and see like different style guidelines and branding guidelines, which there is a difference, but they're kind of used interchangeably at this point. So those ones in there, the names and labels of them are fairly irrelevant. Just know that typically a brand guideline would be like what you deliver to clients is like an end-all be-all. Say they are going to contract with a different designer later on, and you would send the branding guidelines as, here's what, was that Antonio? Was that? Okay, hello. But yeah, so anyway, the brand guidelines would be whatever you are handing off as like the end-all be-all to a client, so then they can fill it out. They can have that to fill out or flesh out their brand in case they are like using a different designer later on. And the style guidelines are typically like what the client would use to inform whatever they might be creating. Say they have like an illustrator that they contact and they need to keep it kind of in the same vein, same style as the brand. It keeps like the general vibe and style of it, but it doesn't go specifically into like, here's our branding, here's our logo, our submark, and that sort of thing. It's more like, here's the general elements and color palettes you might see. But because these are used interchangeably nowadays, they kind of flow between the two. So I also have some text that's written on here that I did steal from a Reddit post, but I did skim through specific parts of it. I read the full thing, but I put specific parts of there in the Figma board, and I was like, this made sense, this clicks. So I threw it in there in case you wanted to skim through it yourself. And I did also include, like, if you needed a project started just as a resource in there, like, I'm gonna start a new project and I have no idea where to begin, so I put a link in there for like a list of ideas for branding and like ideas for design projects, and that's kind of like in the top left as well, over here. And then we have, if you've ever, you might know the big brand, I don't know if you've heard of it, but soda, it's Pepsi. They had this insane logo redesign, and that's the main thing I just want to show for now. I don't remember exactly why they did it. They just contacted this design group in order to create a rebrand of their logo. And it's funny because they did almost like a full circle and did it right back where they started. But this is like a 27-page document where they just kind of go through, okay, we have, how do we move from convention to innovation? We're taking the Pepsi logo and then we're bringing it into the future. And they go really in depth for no good reason with like specific design principles and the eras and the different geometry of the bottles and things like that. And it gets like pretty crazy in there for them to end up right back where they started pretty much. Why on earth did they need to talk about the golden ratio for this Pepsi logo? I have no clue. The smiley faces are also really fun. But yeah, you can flip through here and actually read through it because it's so silly. It's so silly for them to end up with like a slightly different curve in there. And mind you, they got paid a lot of money to do so. As well as a couple other style guides that I have in here. And I did also include some professional designers' portfolios where you can look through their logos and you'll see, okay, this is their branding and this is their like overall design style. And then they get contacted by clients in order to create their whatever it might be, but they keep their style, they keep to their sort of like, yeah, I'm gonna say style. Keeps to their style, and like it looks very cohesive on their own portfolios. It looks like something they made. It looks recognizable, but it also does work well for the client, which is the main point. I will say the where is it? I lost my spot because that's Coca-Cola, Tell Lauren. Oh, right. Developing your own style as a designer. A lot of people I've heard they get like really caught up in I need to develop my own design style. I need it to be something that's recognizable for me. Like if I put this up somewhere, someone will be able to tell, oh yeah, I made that. But part of this is also as a graphic designer, it's more of a commercial art where you're focused more on does this work for the client? And then secondary to that is personal expression and all that. So if it works, if it makes sense for what you're creating, whether it be a poster, a brand, a logo, doing the guidelines themselves, right? You want it to be this is the thing, and then also separately, it looks like I made it. So what I found works for me is I would take whatever thing I'm making and I would like take the parameters of what it has to be. I need it to be 11 by 17. It has to be on like an inkjet print paper. So I know that I have to have my colors be kind of brighter or darker, right? And then from there, once you have those set parameters, you can go, okay, I know that this one needs to be fitting the brand personality where it would have to be playful or colorful or dark and moody and that sort of thing. And then from there, you would work downwards until you get to, okay, this makes sense for the brand. What do I like? What do I not like? And that's where I find that you're developing your style. Because what I do like, I keep. What I don't like, what I don't think works is what I throw away. And what's left is what has created my style. From there, I wanted to do a design sprint, but it's something that's more in person, so I'm gonna hold off on that for now. And what else did I have? I think that was really it. I threw everything into the Figma. Yeah, I'll leave it there. That's it from me then. Bye.